water and soil, and how our livelihood, basically our lives, depend on water and soil. So this is a quote by Thomas Fuller in 1732. We never know the worth of water until the well is dry. And generally speaking, this is true. I mean, when do we value water? When we most need it? When we're thirsty. So, water is essential for life. We all know this. Water dissolves nutrients. I'll talk about that property in a moment. And you can survive for weeks without food, but only a few days without water. Water is necessary. About 60% of you is water. So water is also needed for societal uses like agriculture, industry, domestic uses. We all use it in our houses. And water is life. So for extraterrestrial life, NASA scientists look for one thing, and it's water. No planet which has been classified as possible for life has anything else other than water. Some have methane, which bacterial forms of life might originate in, but water is essential for life to exist. So what makes water so special? What are the properties? You learned about this in chemistry, but here's a short review. So one of them is anomalous expansion. Who knows what that means? No? Okay. You?
Anomalous expansion.
Anomalous expansion.
It happens at random intervals or changes.
Generally speaking, when substances are heated up, what happens to the substance? Expands. When they're cooled down, what happens? It should contract. But what happens to water? When ice is formed, ice is less dense than water. So that means ice floats on water because it expands. Now imagine if water didn't have this property. How would life be on Earth? Think about the impacts of that. Think about Arctic regions, think about frozen lakes. If ice didn't float on water, water would be frozen, ice would sink down. So there would be no life beneath those water bodies. And life would be drastically different if water didn't have that. Now, speaking from just a Newtonian reductionist viewpoint, water is H2O. It's just a simple molecule with 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. But let's move on to the properties. Cohesion. So, who knows about cohesion? What is cohesion?
Surface tension.
Surface tension arises.
Yes. The molecules in the substance attract to each other.
Attract to each other or combine? Exactly. So what type of bonds exist in water that leads to cohesion? Hydrogen bonds, exactly. So let's see if water didn't have hydrogen bonds to attract the water molecules. Some impacts are, let's imagine a leaf, and rain is falling on the leaves of a tree. And generally, when you see that, the raindrops combine on the leaf and they fall from the tip. But if water didn't have that, it would form a film on the leaves. And what would happen to that, the leaf, during the day? It wouldn't be able to absorb as much CO2, wouldn't be able to photosynthesize as well. So in a way, our lives are connected to the hydrogen bonds which exist in water. High specific heat capacity, you all know this. What does that mean? Water has a high specific heat capacity. What does that imply?
It's a lot of energy to heat water just a little bit.
Little bit, exactly. So a lot of heat energy is required to be absorbed by water for a small increase in temperature. Now in our bodies, what happens when we heat up, overheat ourselves? We sweat, right? And water carries that heat energy, the sweat evaporates and cools us. It's a cooling mechanism. If water didn't have a high specific heat capacity, we wouldn't be able to thermoregulate as well. Our temperature, body temperatures wouldn't be able to be maintained. And it's a universal solvent. So water is a polar molecule. What does a polar molecule mean? Right. Oxygen is a partial negative charge. Hydrogens have a partial positive charge, leading to polarity. And this distribution leads water to dissolve so many substances. And there are good things and bad things about this property. The good thing is it dissolves minerals, vitamins, nutrients which our bodies require. At the same time, what could be a negative aspect? Negative as in harmful to us potentially.
Dissolve trash and things like that.
Exactly, it can dissolve substances which are hazardous or waste which we don't need, like some elements which are toxic to us. So that's a great property though, we need that property. And fourth phase, so this is really relating the bonus question on the test. Fourth phase of water, has anyone found the answer?
Yo, Dr. Newchurch told us the answer at
Did he?
one point.
What was the answer? Okay, so water actually has a fourth phase called exclusion zone. Exclusion zone. So what this means is that when water when we drink water and it's absorbed by our cells, water actually converts from H2O to something called H3O2. This is called exclusion zone water, or EZ, short form. Now, a lot of research is being done on this, and it was discovered, I think, in the 70s or 80s. And now, like, more and more things are being discovered about EZ water. So the special property of this type of water is that it can hold negative charge, and it excludes other compounds from it. So that, and the thing that activates this is infrared light. So it's a really special property of water which might have huge biological ramifications. So exclusion zone water, fourth phase. So with all these properties, water is regarded as sacred. It's important, vital to life. Without water, there is no life. So that's why I included a quote here that without water, there is no life. Water is life. So with that, let's take a sip of water and thank the water that we drink. Offering gratitude is a way to thank the elements, respect them, and it makes you feel good. It does. Gratitude is sometimes selfish. It makes you feel good.